Hello, listening people.
Hello.
You're listening to Spit and Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek.
Bartek?
Yes.
Why are we called Spit and Polish?
The reason why we are called Spit and Polish is because we are always spitting and we are always Polish.
We are always Polish and we always spit. You know, saliva is a major part of talking. You know, it's a fundamental core of it. If you don't have saliva, you're not going to talk very well.
Dude, Ryan, do you have saliva?
Yeah. I
have saliva. High five.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So that's what we do on the show, talk about saliva and high five. Thanks for joining in. Bye. That's it. No, what we do on Unappreciated Masterpiece? Good question, me. Was it a question or a statement? You decide later.
You said a question.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was a philosophical debate now about whether I said it in the first place. I think it was you who actually said it. But, you know, time is very fickle like that.
Hey, Ryan, what do we do on Spit and Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces?
Great question, me. I think what we do is we talk about movies that need to be talked about more. Movies that haven't been completely forgotten but aren't completely remembered. They're the ones that nobody has in their top 10 lists of best films of all time. But they're not in the top 10 worst either. They're films that exist that no one remembers fully, but no one forgets fully either. They're in a weird in-between zone. And I think we need to talk about these movies to gain the knowledge of these movies and impart that knowledge onto you, the listening people. We believe that at the end of the day, these movies are art forms, masterpieces, because they have things going on that regular popular movies may or may not have, but they do it in a way that just warms the cockles of my heart, I can say. Bartek?
If you look at the titles of these films that we're watching and you know them, or you just look at the title and you say, Unappreciated Masterpiece, isn't that an oxymoron? Then we'll say, no, you're a moron.
And that's racist against, morons, that's unfair to them.
Yeah, they try very hard. That's a joke from the 1991 film Oscar.
Exactly. So, Bartek, what is the film we're going to be exploring today?
It's not Oscar. We've already done that one.
We've already done Oscar with Sylvester Stallone.
We did it January 2017. It was a good episode. I haven't listened to it yet, but I will soon.
That's good.
That's where I'm up to, I think.
Great.
The film that we are doing today is Pootie Tang, Pogromca Zła.
Oh, crap.
What?
Here's the thing. I think you're speaking Polish, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awkward. I don't speak Polish. So
what?
I know I am Polish, but I don't speak it. It's a thing. The war happened. Things happened, and I don't speak Polish.
War against Polish.
Yeah, the war it's a hard language. I'm getting an erection thinking about it right now.
It's the hardest language.
It's a harder language.
Thank you, third voice.
Thank you, third disembodied voice. I'm not going to introduce that voice for another 45 minutes as a punishment. As a punishment.
We're still on the title of third voice.
So what's the title? Who is it? I don't know. What was the movie again?
All right, Ryan. Now, I'm going to say the Polish title again. Pootie Tang, Pogromca Zła. Think about the title, but get rid of the Pogromca Zła. Pootie Tang.
Pogromca Zła, whatever. Yep, okay.
You made it sound French.
Well, it's kind of hard not to.
Pogromca Zła means...
It sounds French, doesn't it? I think that's... Yeah,
I think it means, killer of bad guys.
Killer of bad guys? That's my favourite movie. I love Killer of Bad Guys.
Well, most people know it as Pootie Tang.
Oh, Pootie Tang. It's no Killer of Bad Guys, but Pootie Tang from 2001. 2001. An emotional time to be alive, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember 2001 like it was yesterday. Cheese TV got interrupted for some lame event about some towers, and Pootie Tang came out.
Yeah,
as did Bubble Boy.
The tower thing happened I think it was between 9 or 11 times too. So
many times of interruption for my Cheese TV. I needed to know what Goku was up to.
He's probably dyeing his hair yellow.
He was probably spending 4 episodes punching a guy. These kind of things. What was it about? So, who's our Goku for this episode? He's going to spend 45 minutes punching.
Our Super Saiyan guest for this episode is...
No. He's not the Super Saiyan one. He's like the little kid monkey one with the tail. Like the
okay.
cool
What?
Goku. The cool Goku.
Our Goku,
cool.
Goku with a
shit is
Dragon Ball with 4 stars on it for this episode is returning guest for the... I think this is your fifth episode?
My 5th episode.
His 5th
So you should have said
appearance,
5 stars on the Goku ball.
but he started with a 4-star one. Anyway, it's
Oh,
Rhys
that's
Mckenzie,
Yay!
who was featured on Meet Dave, where we met Dave.
Catch that kid.
Catch
Where we
That Kid,
caught a-
where we caught a kid.
We
Race
did
to
catch
Witch
a kid.
Mountain, where we came first place. Thunderbirds, where we used the Pokemon attack Thunder on a bird.
I think you listed 4 already. Now you go to list
Yeah,
the
now
5th one where it's
so
over
it's your
her dead
6th
body.
appearance. Over her dead body, where we killed a bitch.
Oh, that's right.
And now it's our 6th appearance of Rhys Mckenzie, where we're doing Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang. Talking about Pootie Tang, have you guys heard about Pootie Tang? Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang? Get used to that, because that's the movie.
Wait, are you saying we haven't heard of Pootie Tang?
Who is Pootie Tang?
Pootie Tang?
Who is Pootie Tang?
Pootie Tang?
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you who Pootie Tang is, but you have to press play.
Well, that's the whole thing, guys. You guys at home have to join in on the magical wonder that is the Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang is that 2001 film where I would say it's a comedy, but I felt like it was more of a coming-of-age film. We'll get into that. A coming of Pootie Tang. So,
How?
well, we'll find out, won't we, Pootie Tang? So, you guys get your Pootie Tang ready, because we're going to do a countdown of 3, 2, 1, and when I say play, you press play to get Pootie Tang. So, get your Pootie Tang ready. I imagine we all have a legal copy of Pootie Tang, because I imagine everyone in their home has a good old physical copy of Pootie Tang right there. You know, when you're having a party late in the year, you know, it's New Year's Eve, and you're thinking, who wants to watch the fireworks when I can watch fireworks in cinema form, which is Pootie Tang. So get ready, because we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, play. So here we are. We're at the Paramount logo. It should be the Pootie Tang logo. Like, how good would this be? Instead of the stars, it's his face.
It's his belt.
It's his belt. That would be
Belt.
really good. That would be
Yeah.
good. Wouldn't that be great?
But they just didn't have the visual effects for that. Oh, movie critic guy.
Oh, I love movie critic guys. So,
Bob Costas, was it?
as himself, which was the best part of the film,
Yeah.
was that this guy is an amazing actor because he's playing himself. You know, we have all played ourselves before. Like, I've been playing me for a very long time on this show.
And you do a good job at it, by the way, right?
Yeah, you know, I try. You know, I get, you know, the peppertain, so fun fact about this movie, before we even get into our histories with this, I'm going to ask Rhys first, because I feel like I've already told you, Bartek. Do you know who created Pootie Tang, Rhys?
I'm going to go for a long shot here, Ryan.
Go on.
Chris Rock.
No.
Damn it.
Bartek, do you want to tell Rhys who created Pootie Tang? Who directed and wrote this film, Pootie Tang, and created
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K., the widest comedian you could ever get, does this movie. That's the best joke in the whole entire film. Is that it's like if today you got Woody Allen to do one of those like blaxploitation slave
NWA?
westerns, slave westerns, like how, you know, Tarantino, like it's weird that he does it, but it's also like he's always been writing a lot of black characters in his career, so it's kind of not that unusual. Look, it's 2001 and this is what's happening in New York. This is what's going on. Nothing much else.
Nah, just some Donald Trump dude.
That's not Donald Trump.
Nah, like...
He's Dick
Donald Trump.
Lecter. He's Hannibal's less successful brother.
And I got a more Superman vibe from him.
Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor.
No, Superman.
Oh, of Pootie Tang?
Wait, really? You got more of a Superman vibe off of Dick Lecter.
Yeah. Who else would I get a vibe
He's got
off
Clark
of?
Kent glasses.
Yeah, he's got
You should have
glasses.
said, no, you should have said you got more Clark Kent vibe, because we don't know who Superman is. You know.
I'm talking about Superman.
Hey, didn't
not
you like
Clark
how you
Kent.
thought Bad Biddy was going to be in this movie? Because they're like, in the opening, they're like, you got Bad Biddy, you got this, and then it's like Bad Biddy's
Look,
in this
I'm just
scene.
happy that Dirty D got to be in more of the movie.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Dirty D was my favorite character
He was
growing up.
He was my favorite character. in
I
my
swore
viewing.
in my memories I remembered better jokes for Dirty D. where I in my memory of this movie, because I grew up with this movie, in my memory of this movie, I incorporated jokes that were just implied visually as jokes from the narrator. Like, I thought it was like, Dirty D, he's dirty. He's got dirty cars, dirty money, dirty women. And I'm like, no, they're just things that are just near him that I remember.
He's a good concept.
Yeah.
Isn't he
I'm
great?
surprised that his right-hand man is the cleanest dude in the whole
Well,
bunch. Like,
he's froggy. His whole thing is he looks like a frog.
oh, okay.
Get it? Clean drugs and like those little things.
So Ryan, I think one thing that we should probably get out there first is
We are white. Yep.
yeah. Well,
They are
again,
incredibly white.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Speak for yourself, but yeah.
Well, as white as you can get red, basically.
You know, I've got some Aboriginal in me.
What I'm trying to say,
racist.
what I'm trying to say is, even though this was like, I guess, theatrically released and stuff like that, I don't think too many people have necessarily heard of this. So maybe we should just, maybe some people are listening to our episode and thinking like, Pootie Tang. That is
That's a great Scary Movie 3 reference.
They might be thinking, what is this title? Like, what is it about?
Sorry, just the speed change. Just before we get into it, I also loved in this sequence here the fact that the Matrix was really inspired by it, but also the fact that
As was Ali G in the house.
you know this kid, you know how they set him up to like, the boy. You never see him.
The dumbest kid in
You
town.
never see him again.
It's because he's too dumb to appear on camera.
Okay, so Rhys, you're a Pootie Tang expert. You grew up with Pootie Tang. Well, no, I don't know what your history is.
Okay, I can explain my history of Pootie Tang.
Go on.
Scary Movie 3.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So do tell the young listening people who are not there when Pootie Tang first came out what Pootie Tang is. Who is Pootie Tang? What is Pootie Tang about?
Wait, the movie or the character?
Both. You can do both. Well, the movie is the character.
Start with the movie.
It's a character-driven piece.
It is simply a hero's journey piece about Pootie Tang, who is currently whooping ass at the moment.
Is it dirty ass?
No.
Oh, okay.
Basically, Pootie Tang is a well-respected figure in his community, battling drug dealers, battling prostitutes, and battling the big corporate America.
Not to confuse him with Black Dynamite.
No, not to confuse.
Or Undercover Brother.
Or Undercover Brother. However,
Or
Shaft.
Superman.
Or Shaft.
Basically, corporate America find a way to rid Pootie Tang of his special powers, which is in his belt, basically, thus losing Pootie Tang's respect for the whole community.
Oh, man.
But Pootie Tang must find a way to regain the respect of his community and defeat corporate America.
And the
Good synopsis.
And the narrative device of this film is that it's a short clip from the movie that he's showing to Bob Costas.
And it's the longest movie. It's the longest movie clip he's ever seen.
The joke is that it's the full movie. So basically, what we're watching is a supposedly real life character on a talk show giving us a little look of his vanity project.
My personal favorite part of that storyline of it being a movie showed is halfway through the movie, Bob Costas shows up.
Yeah.
In it, doing a documentary or doing an interview about the movie's plot.
Yeah.
So is this a true story or is this a fictionalized story?
That part gets you thinking.
But you know, this...
and the film's called
Shine Your Pity on the Running Kind.
Yeah.
No, it's Sin Your Pity on the Running Kind.
I thought it was
Sign.
Sign. It's Sign Your Pity on the Running...
Sign, but not like SIGN. It's like SINE.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes, rocking it, is one of my favorite female comedy characters of all time. Big Shorty.
I don't know, Ryan. She was pretty good in Ice Age 4.
Hey, she's good in all the Ice Ages, isn't she in all of them?
I thought she was just in 4. Like she was Sid's grandma.
Oh, what was that say?
Monster-in-Law.
Oh, of course, my favorite movie. Is that the one with J-Lo?
Yes, and Jay Fonda.
Oh, good.
J-Fo.
J-Fo.
J-Lo.
Now, look at this. Don't you miss the early 2000s before 9/11 happened? Because obviously this movie was made before 9/11, so it has that nice little innocence of, oh, thanks, Prince Paul. Not Prince, the musician, but another guy called Prince.
Nelson.
Yeah, Prince Nelson, yeah.
That's his name, right?
I know, but it's just funny that he has a normal last name. Yeah. What's your name? Prince Nelson.
Yeah, it's like you got the last name and the first name mixed up, like Martin Prince from Simpsons.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
the other way
Nelson
around.
Prince, yeah.
Prince Martin.
Prince Martin. So, Thanks, Willie. So that's a good synopsis of the movie. But you know what I think about this movie? It's a hero's journey, but a coming of age, because Pootie Tang grows up at the end of this movie. He settles down. He moves from young to middle age. He grows up.
He does.
He's incredibly effervescent.
I don't think he changes at all. I think he just
He
comes
completely changes.
I think with the whole argument that it's a hero journey piece, it does subvert the requirement of him just being an everyman at the beginning.
Yeah, he is in fact, he is Hercules at the end of his journey, and then Hercules has to continue on.
It's like Hercules' second journey.
Yeah, exactly. Pootie Tang is the modern day Hercules.
The hero's second journey after the first one.
Yeah. I know we haven't gone into our history still, but can we please talk about how this is Chris Rock's best acting role as Tang? What a day.
What a time.
There's so many.
On Wikipedia, they got a whole list of them. And they're like, it could mean this, it could mean this.
Too cool for words.
I really liked the whole aspect of the too cool for words, because it feels like a thing that you would say in real life, but in this film they make it literal and you can see what they mean by it.
Yeah, I also loved... Can you tell which one's Pootie?
Yeah.
Is it the totally fly one?
Yeah, the tall one. You got it.
I just love how small that fur coat is on him, basically.
Well, it's Pootie Tang. I love who are these women?
And the next women, basically, who shows up. That's just,
the next women?
The next woman, sorry.
The women?
Woman.
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the next women. There they are. There they are. The next women. Look at all of them standing there throwing.
She has the cry of 1,000 women.
It's really weird that she's kind of like nanobots of women, you know, like they're really, really tiny. They're making up what seems like one whole woman, but in fact millions and trillions of women everywhere.
At this point, I was working out if that was his mum.
I also thought that, and I've seen this movie a lot.
I was hoping that it wasn't, and I was glad that it wasn't, because that just makes it a bit funnier.
Let's tell our histories. Bartek, you first.
I'd heard of it, I think, for the first time a couple of years ago, but I didn't really look into it that much. I think I might have read, it's a blaxploitation film, and I thought, oh, okay. And it had this kind of weird name. Like, I think Tang is often used as, like, a sexual term.
So is Pootie.
And Pootie sounds a lot like Poon.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought, oh, maybe it's a porno, but the people that I heard talking about it, like, just some random Let's Players that I never watched, they didn't seem like they were into...
Well, you sound like you're watching them.
Well, I mean, this is like the one thing I watched from them. But anyway, they're playing like Assassin's Creed or something.
Oh, and they were called Channel Pootie Tang, #Watch Pootie Tang.
But anyway, I heard of it, I looked it up, I'm like, oh, it's a blaxploitation film, okay. And then I kept the title in my head for a few years, and then you brought it up to me not too long ago, and you're like, oh yeah, that film's made by Louis C.K. I'm like, isn't that a blaxploitation film?
Yep.
And then I just kept thinking about it, and then when you finally said, we're doing Pootie Tang, I just sent you a simple message of okay, but in my head I was like, finally.
And then you masturbated. So
and
Rhys,
then I watched the film.
And then he masturbated again. So Rhys, you told us yours is Scary Movie 3. Might I add,
Never
Bartek,
seen that.
It's the best reference in the whole entire movie. I'll set it up for you. So in Scary Movie, they're doing Ring.
The Ring parody.
Okay.
The Ring parody.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. So they're doing that, right? And they're like, you know, the main character goes to the creator of the tape or whatever, the guy who originated the tape in this universe, but it's the architect from the Matrix movies. Mm-hmm. So he's in the room with all like the screens and whatever. He's played by George Carlin, who's the best casting choice as the parody version of that terrible character from the Matrix movies. And then he is telling the world about how he accidentally got the Ring tape from the video store, thinking that it was going to be a copy of Pootie Tang.
Yeah.
And then he accidentally returned the tape. No. He got a tape of Pootie Tang, but accidentally returned this tape instead of the Pootie Tang tape. And then it's like, and this tape went on to kill millions. And she's like, and this tape went on to kill millions and hundreds and millions of people. And he's just like, yep. Just like Pootie Tang. It's just one of those subtle ones. I just love it. It's just like, yeah, Pootie Tang's equally as bad as that tape. Like, no matter what he did, people are going to die.
I wonder how Louis C.K. feels about that.
Fun fact.
Have you not
Louis C.K. despises this movie. Wants no part of it. It was not anything in his control because the studios took away his ability to actually be in the editing room.
And he got yelled at by Goldwyn's grandson.
Yeah, saying that this film was unreleasable. But you know why it got released, Reese? You want to guess what movie made this popular enough to be released? Now, really think about this. This is genuine. What movie in this era would have made this movie be able to exist?
So, because of one movie, you're saying?
Yeah, one comedy movie that was huge.
Huge.
And think about the style of this movie.
And it was before Pootie Tang.
Yep.
Would we say the 90s?
Late 90s, yeah. Only a couple years before, like a year or two before, I would say.
Okay. I need it.
You need to think about one that's a childhood classic of ours, I would say. Bartek, you would agree?
It's a comedy.
I'm just trying to remember
Was
what
it
it
a
was.
comedy?
It's a comedy, yeah. A silly...
I think I know.
What?
Dungeons and Dragons?
No. Austin Powers.
That's right, yeah.
Right, Austin.
Without Austin Powers, this movie wouldn't
97
exist.
then, yeah.
This movie wouldn't exist without Austin Powers. And I thank Austin. Another heroic move from Mike Myers. One day we will cover the Love Guru, in case you're wondering. Look, Andy Richter, outside of being in Conan O'Brien's show, even though Conan just appeared a moment ago. Kind of interesting. I like how you think that Andy's going to be in the movie as well, because they're like, who's this guy? He looks pretty slick. I want to know what his cigar...
Like.
What's his cigar about?
He reminds me of, what's his name, Chris Farley?
Yeah, well, Andy Richter's the poorest man's Chris Farley.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. Andy Richter's never acted before. He just plays Andy Richter a lot.
Netatai baddie.
Yeah. So, there's that.
This is a good scene for some of the people who might have been watching this film thinking, like, am I mishearing things that he's saying?
No.
Because it's a public service announcement where a bunch of the words that he says... Sadate and all that are shown on the screen to tell you, yes, he is too cool for words, and these are the types of words that he uses instead of words.
Yeah, I'm very proud. I really thought that this Frank guy was actually going to be Louis C.K. I'm like, oh, there's a bald man. Is that Louis? No. Louis not in the movie.
I reckon by this point in time, Louis C.K. wasn't bald yet, because he still had curls when he was writing.
He wasn't really known at this point.
He was always bald.
At this point, wasn't he just like behind the scenes?
Yeah. He was like that until pretty much Louis.
Being Louis.
I mean, he was also in The Invention of Lying, where he shaved off his goatee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Does it work?
No. He looks weird.
I mean, if you cut it off, it doesn't work, Reese.
It's not a goatee anymore if you don't have one.
It's not going to get a job.
It's not going to get a job, unlike Pootie Tang.
Okay, look.
Hey, you know what I think about? This movie that Louis C.K. pitched got accepted. Like, he's like, hey guys, I'm a white guy. I want to make this black exploitation comedy. It's okay, Chris Rock wants to be a producer. Well, you said Chris Rock, I'm involved. And then that went on to have people hired to be in this. Not only did they get hired, but Chris Rock got hired 3 times in acting roles.
And he was also a producer, right?
And a producer.
He's basically Frank Morgan in The Wizard of Oz.
You're damn right.
So Chris Rock and Austin Powers are the reason why this film got to, be released.
Oh, and Louis C.K.'s natural white charm.
Yeah. I love this character, the goatee guy.
Yeah, the one who...
And you like him, too.
I was going to say, the one that's the Bartek of the crew.
Which one... So you Chris Rock, Ryan?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, you would be. But he's the shortest one.
Yeah, of course. But it doesn't matter. I'm also the blackest one, so I guess...
So I'm the tallest one.
You're the one with the facial hair.
I'm the one with the cool shirt, basically.
You're the narrator. You're the actual narrator. He narrates this movie. That's the best part. I love this. With this movie, of course, it's from the era in which comedies were written, and
this is very written.
This is a very written piece. You can tell by Biggie Shorty how great she is. I love these cutaways of her where she's just talking and then cuts to her. It's very Austin Powers-esque.
Yeah.
Austin Powers really created this weird transitioning moments in comedy films, like where it's like, okay, we have an egocentric character that's a playboy,
which inspired Zoom.
Everything inspires Zoom. And then Wanda Tay. And then,
I think it's Ta. Tay is when it's Tay, Ryan.
No, he doesn't. Wanda
Ta.
I thought he said Tay a lot when he said it with an A.
Tay is different.
I watched it with subtitles, so I understood what he was saying more.
I looked up Wikipedia's list of...
Well, did you bring it with you?
I mean, no.
Did you respect women when you did it? Because that's what he's all about.
I think I did.
Now, Pootie Tang is a controversial choice for the show because Bartek made an interesting statement, which is not a lot of people know this. Surprisingly, I felt the difference. I felt like, ooh, is this one too many people know? Because this has a reputation as being a very bad comedy film of the 2000s. Like, like Scary Movie 3 makes a reference about it. It's referenced quite a lot. And Louis C.K.'s made many public statements about how he hates the film as well. And I was worried, and then I thought, no. Think about the movie on its value, on its face value. What's the movie trying to tell us? And it's trying to tell us so many interesting things, Rhys. The film has an emotional complexity in its language of cinema. You have use of narration, and our main character is pretty much a character from a Western. He's a silent protagonist. He doesn't say very much, and what he does say is very poignant.
Okay. It basically wants to teach children, no, it's not just children that are going to see this.
And adults.
Adults, mostly adults.
No, children are allowed to see it. I saw it as a kid, and I grew up fine.
Well, it was
Nadi.
In America, it was edited down to a PG-13.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because,
It's America.
He's a PG-13 character,
Well, it went from hard R to PG-13 from what I understand.
What a tay. So, I understand.
Well, yes.
I understand.
I understand.
You're confused because it was just too much for kids, but too little for kids as well.
Yeah.
This film's like a Pixar movie, but live action. You know what I mean?
If it was a Pixar film, it might have actually broken through.
It did break through. We're talking about it now.
Well, we did mention...
It is here.
We did mention comparisons so far already to Austin Powers, and I mentioned Ali G into House, because they're always about these...
Which didn't do very well in itself, Ali G into House as a film.
I guess so, but the character itself is a very popular.
The character from the show, yeah. But not the movie.
Also, I didn't even think about this, but those two characters are British, and this one's not. But it is one of those films that's centered around this... In Austin Powers, it's in-universe, but established character, because apparently this character, Pootie Tang, does appear on the Chris Rock show.
Yes, he does. He does appear.
So it's this established kind of vanity piece exploring what this character is about. And their various quirks. Like Austin Powers is like the sexual 60s guy. Ali G is this white gangster guy from the... Was he East Side or West Side? Really?
East Side.
He was East Side.
No, he was West Side, sorry.
West
North Side. We'll clear it up of that.
North by North.
Charles Dance was in that movie, so that's good.
You like Charles Dance?
This film has David Cross.
Yes, I also really wanted to hear your opinion on David Cross appearing in this as Tobias from Arrested Development playing Pootie Tang.
It kind of makes sense if Tobias would do
When I
first...
he's doing his Tobias voice. He has a mustache and everything.
When I watched it, I thought for a second that it was, what's his face? Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, wow, that was completely wrong.
Yeah, I was like, it's not Weird Al, but I think it is. And
Too Jewish to be Weird Al.
And then in the credits, I was like, oh, David Cross.
And here she is. Jennifer Coolidge playing a more conventional Jennifer Coolidge role than her last appearance on the show. Alexander the Terrible. Where she played a very different sort of character for her, non-sexualized character, which is very obscure for her to do because she is Stifler's mum. She's in Click.
Legally Blonde.
Well, obviously, she bends and snaps. And, and obviously people know her from Two Broke Girls. She's a versatile actress, but she really knows how to play the MILF, the vixen type of seductress character, which is, I love that kind of character in movies like this. You need, this film would be a good double feature with Undercover Brother, in which Denise Richards plays White She-Devil.
By the way, for listening people, did you like how over this whole episode we've been playing the hit song?
Yeah, it's my favourite song.
We're hoping not to get copyright flagged for it.
I can't wait to point out what I think Bartek's favourite character is in this movie.
Despite the fact that I already said it?
No, you're wrong already.
Okay.
I think you've already forgotten your favourite character, but we'll get there.
I was telling Rhys on the way here that this sketch where...
He said he does nothing?
Where he's making a song that's very much not really a song, reminded me of a Chappelle sketch. Have you watched the Chappelle Show, Ryan?
Yes, I have watched Chappelle Show.
Have you seen the episode where there was a sketch where Dave Chappelle was like a new hit rapper and like his hit song was him asking them to turn his headphones up because he can't hear himself? It reminded me of that, but this clearly...
Didn't Kanye West help the Dave Chappelle show by helping him do like some hip hop stuff. I swear there's a great Dave Chappelle story where it's like, yeah, can't you help me out on that show with stuff?
I remember watching some clip of Dave Chappelle recounting an experience with Kanye West. Like, before he was famous, apparently he was still super narcissistic.
Yeah, but he was telling, oh look, here's Chris Rock and his
The third Chris Rock character.
Third Chris Rock, my favorite of
This
them.
is my favourite scene. in the
No,
whole
I'm
movie.
kidding. The dad's the best character.
His dad was pretty great.
The dad was the one I remembered the most. That guy ate the hot dog weird, but whatever.
You probably got to eat like thousands of hot dogs on like set, just like, okay, when are you gonna eat?
Excuse me, they're playing.
You have to do the hand sign, or else
I did it
doesn't
below
count.
the desk.
No, you have to do it to
Oh,
the
you have to do it like
microphone.
this. They're playing.
There you go.
Yeah, I love how the news reporter does it too. Now, this little Asian kid, I don't want to be racist, but is he the little Asian kid from Austin Powers that sees the penis rocket?
Oh, Wang.
Wang.
Yeah.
Is he that one? Because that kid
I
also
don't
wore the
think-
same kind of shirt. Like the normal sloppy shirt. Oh, this guy's great. I love he's got the
Yeah.
best dance moves.
I like how you can kind of not imply, but like get an
Imbue.
idea of what the rhythm of the song is like from his dancing.
Yeah, and also from the kid.
And this.
I like how we get more of this at the end of the credits.
Yeah. Oh, this is
And
the.
then, oh.
Oh, it's getting faster now, but that guy's a bit slower. And then,
Oh, this is the saddest scene.
oh,
It didn't touch the father's heart. Maybe
No.
he's deaf.
little
but,
did
like,
we know that scene was set in North Korea and that kid was shot sometime
He was
later.
sent to work, basically.
And then that's when Pootie Tang said, "Wanda Sykes." Yeah.
It looks like Joan Allen.
It isn't though. So
It isn't, damn.
that, it's also not Joan Cusack. If you wanted to nail that one down.
It wasn't me either.
No, that's you there, the one kissing Pootie. You're the crazy milk lady. So
That's you, Ryan.
my history with this movie is my parents bought it on DVD, but they knew the film. They
Okay.
wanted to see it. Guess what? They actually wanted to see it more than they wanted to see another movie that came out that year called Zoolander. My parents were like, Zoolander looks alright, but I want to see this Pootie Tang. I gotta wait until this comes out on DVD or video or whatever. And we got a copy, and this is my tragic history with Pootie Tang.
Oh no, you're not going to say that, are you?
No, you're gonna get twisted up inside. But Pootie Tang was one of those movies that you buy it when, I don't know if you get this a lot, but when you buy a new DVD from the store, you go home and then you open it, there's no disc inside.
Oh.
That's shit.
That's.
From Big W, thanks Big W. You know,
Did you at least go back and say?
my
what
mum
the-
works there, so she went back and got a copy, but it was like, then we didn't watch it for months after that. We were like traumatized, I think. We're like, oh no, we got Pootie Tanged.
No,
like
Pootie
that-
Tang wouldn't do that.
No, you're right, but Duty Tang, we got Duty Tanged.
Now, Duty Tang, he's the worst motherfucker.
I just said that. Fucking hell, Barnes.
And you just said that too.
Tip a tie on my Capitown.
Sepatown. I mean, it's
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino, right? Al Pacino.
Okay, racist.
Shannon Knoll.
Hey,
Yeah, that's a defense.
That's Reese's hit song. Stuttering of a man.
Capitown.
Mackenzie's done again.
Shimmy, na 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 na. There's an emphasis on that.
Scattered screams.
All on me, baby. So my history was, so then we watched Pootie Tang, and I fell in love with Pootie Tang, but I caused a rift in the family because I liked Zoolander better than Pootie Tang.
Oh, no.
What an idiot I was.
What a fuck.
Because although Zoolander has an amazing grassy knoll joke in it, which still cracks me up to the... Do you remember that?
The grassy knoll?
Yeah, when in Zoolander, when they're like models killed every leader that you know, it's like, oh, excuse me, Lee Harvey Oswald was not a model. No, but those two lookers at the grassy knoll sure the hell were. And it cuts to like two models with the guns at the grassy knoll high-fiving each other. It's just such a little
I
joke.
remember that. Oh, and this. Okay, we're gonna talk about
And
this lady.
this was one of those moments when I grew up that this is one of those comedy moments that sticks with you for life.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
feels
Like when
very
you first
dark.
saw, but it's also pure because he's being nice. He's giving her some milk. He's also not taking advantage of her because, you know, he doesn't want that, you know?
He doesn't look satisfied.
He's
though.
got, yeah, exactly. Well, he's Pootie Tang. He doesn't feel lots of things. That's why he goes on a journey. At the end of the movie, he smiles a lot. You know, in this
Yeah.
stage of Pootie's life, he's withdrawn because Daddy told him, you know, the
Respect
belt.
the women.
respect women, but also keep them away from you and the belt. And he's obviously like, well, I've got to do the belt because that's what makes me Pootie Tang. But little did he know that he was Pootie Tang all along. So, when I watched this as a young boy, I didn't understand this scene, but it stuck with me. Now I'm older, I'm like, I get it. The thematic stuff, the sexual nature of it, but also, like, how good drinking milk off the floor is,
To be fair, Ryan, off from a bowl.
Yeah, that too.
We don't want the people who aren't watching the movie to think
I'm some scavenger.
That some Pootie Tang would like to drop milk on the floor and have it.
And another thing about milk, Chris Rock really likes to use milk in comedy a lot. He has it as a recurring thing. Is it a reference to the white man? Maybe.
He likes the white man.
Yeah, he wants us to be...
Or women,
Or
to
women.
be fair.
He knows a lot about white men and
Like,
women.
one of my favorite jokes in the TV show Everybody Hates Chris is Terry Crews looking over spilt milk, and he's like, that's 18 cents worth of spilt milk. Someone's gonna drink that milk. I like that this scene gets to play again.
Just to remind you.
Yeah, because it would have been a bit weird. Oh, look at his chest. He's got some good chest hair, It's not too much, but it's not too little. Good dance moves.
His actor name is Lance Crouther, was it?
Yeah, Lance Crouther.
He hasn't... This is like the last film he acted in. Right?
First feature film, last feature film.
Yeah, apparently he's more of a behind-the-scenes
Well,
guy.
Exactly. Pootie Tang, he only does Pootie Tang, and that's what I love about Pootie Tang. If they did a sequel called The Return of Pootie Tang Strikes Back, or something like that, yeah, he would return, He's that kind of guy where he's like, yeah, I love Pootie Tang. I'm a Pootie Tang expert. I love that she has Biggie Shorty's initials on her belt.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, well, she's also got a Walkman, so she's nailing this.
I was hoping that the gag with her is that she never leaves
The corner? That'd be great. Now, he is Bartek's my favorite character.
Reese and I were talking about this guy on the way.
How am I
interesting.
How am I wrong? Now, I was really worried. Is this man mentally retarded, or is he?
That's
That's exactly what I asked Reese.
I
was like, it's never.
And you know the answer is? She ain't no hoe. She just dresses in fancy clothes and dances near some hoes.
Which is kind of a Dave Chappelle joke.
Well, it's a very feminist statement that she's making as a character. Because the thing about her character is she's not what you expect, She's actually a strong, independent woman who knows everything. I love this type of character where she's your weirdest version of a Mary Sue, where she kind of knows and does everything that's right without ever being wrong. Like, she's never wrong in any of her actions. She's the one at the start that's like, this is what's going to happen, and then that's exactly what happens at the end of the movie, and you respect her because she's played so wonderfully. She's got a great absurdist look to her, but also she's just not what you expect. Where she's like, kind of woman, dressed fancy, stand on the corner next to some whores and not be thought to be one.
Yeah, I also like the scene where she was like sitting next to Pootie and telling him like, I know one day, we're going to have sex, that kind of really cocky, boasty thing. And I was like, she's being very, confident and cocky, almost like she's a villain in a way, but she's not.
She's female Pootie Tang.
Yeah, she
also... is. Like, if you're ever auditioning for something, here's a monologue that you could,
this one here?
Chris Rock's monologue here about how hard it is to get into the club.
Yeah, it was almost as good. It was almost as good as the monologue that's delivered by the sheriff of the
town later on.
Later on. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it involves marriage. Oh. It's a shorter monologue, but it's pretty good. Now, Rhys, we haven't heard much from you. What did you think of this movie? Now, you're a big film guy. I've heard you talk about the hero's journey just a moment ago, which obviously makes us all think of classic films like, the works of Lucas and Spielberg and all these kind of great filmmakers that really implement the hero's journey. Now, the thing with the hero's journey is you don't see it really, well, you do, but you don't see it implemented in comedy as much, or it's not as overt.
Apart from year one.
Well, obviously. But that was, the literal hero's journey. But this one, he's already the hero?
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this take for a comedic movie to make use the hero's journey formula?
I actually think it is good. You're teaching children. Why is it always children I go to? It's not a kid's
Stop
movie.
touching kids, Rhys.
I'm not touching kids. No.
What aren't you doing?
What?
What aren't you doing?
I'm not touching children.
So you aren't not touching children.
No, I am not.
So Rhys,
touching...
if a
I'm
child
not-
if a child were dying and said, Rhys, I need you to pump my heart to save my life, you're like, I don't touch kids.
Okay.
I'm not allowed.
What?
I'm not touching children
Okay.
right now.
If a child were to be on the ground and gives me permission to give him CPR or whatever, I would.
What happens if he's unconscious? Would you let him die? Rhys? Die, Rhys, come on.
Oh, no, not die, Rhys again.
Rhys, what if the child's on the ground, needs CPR,
Yeah.
and
he's-
he's unconscious, he can't ask you for it, and there's a guy next to you who's qualified to give CPR, but he's got a phobia of children.
Yeah, also he has no hands.
Well, the guy can instruct me on how to touch
Oh, that's a smart idea. How did what?
and how to, just do it, basically.
That's not what you said.
I thought you were
How to touch
Ryan, I thought he was going to say how to touch kids.
That's what I thought. I'm
Oh,
like,
God.
what fucking neighborhood is Rhys hanging out in? In which there's a kid,
A man without arms.
a man without hands, near a kid, but he knows how to do CPR. The kid's unconscious. He probably made him unconscious from the roofie. I like how we got another introduction of Irene, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, we already met her, but, like, remember her from 2 seasons ago?
I liked how it was a demand, like, remember.
Remember
So,
Irene?
we're getting back to Rhys's neighborhood, where kid touches are drugging kids, but they can't perform CPR, so they inform Rhys on how to touch kids.
Ryan, when you say it like that, it sounds kind of dirty.
We're
just talking about CPR.
That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about that too, buddy. You know, it's not my fault that you have a dirty mind.
Rhys, if I needed CPR, would you give me CPR?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck
Okay, yeah. Now, if I was there to instruct you on how to touch Bartek, would you do it?
See, Ryan has knowledge about how you touch Polish people, so you might need it.
First, you stroke the chest hairs, and then you work your way down.
See, if they don't have
Do you
chest...
actually have conditioner or something like that when you go
No
down?
bare hands,
Okay.
like the hands of a bear.
I'm handsome like Pootie Tang.
Yeah. Like,
He's-
do you have to condition your beard every so often? Like, put shampoo in there just to make it nice.
Yeah, I recently
Bartek has a
bought
beard,
some
yeah.
stuff specifically for beards. So,
Beard
use that.
cream. That's what Pootie Tang would recommend with his
If you
mustache.
smell my beard, you'll smell it.
I don't want to do that. Sorry, buddy.
Come on, do
We're
it.
an audio-based podcast, so if you could describe the smell to the audience.
It's some type of tree.
Oh, okay.
Scent.
No, I'm gonna give it a sniff. Okay, it's definitely like a. It has an aroma of a nutmeg kind of feel. to
Nutmeg?
it. And then it also has a bit of. Let me sniff again. That's some Pootie Tang in there. I
Oh,
can smell
dang.
some Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang in
What
trouble.
hiya?
Speaking of Pootie Tang, he's in a bit of
I'm
trouble
David
at
Cross.
the moment with a robber.
Well, this robber is really important because what it shows is the power of the belt, but also the power of Pootie Tang because he can resurrect people by speaking to them.
By just simply speaking.
And then I want you to think about this. Who is good at resurrections?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus Christos.
And
Lazarus.
David Blaine.
Yeah,
and is he David? And he's wearing tight pants like Blaney. So is Jesus and Pootie Tang and Blaine the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit?
I think Ali G did have a sketch where he compared Jesus and David Blaine, so this is all getting related.
So which one's Pootie Tang? Is he the Father, the Son, or the Holy Spirit or Ghost?
I
Whichever
feel
one
like
you
he would
prefer.
be the son.
Yeah, I feel
Which
like
is the Jesus.
He's the Son, and then the Holy, and then the Father would be
Daddy Tang.
Daddy Tang.
no, the
The
three.
corn.
No,
Daddy Tang.
the three people we just listed.
No, they'd be the wise men, Ryan.
No, they wouldn't. They're not wise.
It's kind of like this kind of reminds me of Ed Harris in The Abyss when he just starts screaming at someone.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it reminds me of Nicolas Cage in every movie he's
Oh,
in.
well. But no, I said Ed Harris. I said,
So you fucked up, Rhys, already. Now go touch some kids in your street.
Nicolas Cage is in Snowden.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's a general, isn't
He
he?
plays a professor.
Oh, Professor General. So, now to Pootie Tang. When I told you we're going to do Pootie Tang, and you knew it was a black exploitation comedy, or did you know it was a comedy for one?
I assumed it was a comedy.
Okay, so what were you expecting when you got in, or within the first 5 minutes, what were your expectations of what was going to proceed?
Actually, Ryan, for the first few seconds when we saw the Paramount logo and it was silent, I'm like, does this copy not have sound? And then it cut to Bob Costas. I'm like, oh, suddenly sound.
Yeah, mine did that too.
And I was wondering, like, is this... Because it was a sudden cut, and I was like, is this...
This is a choice
Is this
by
the
the
Yeah,
film?
this is a choice by the filmmakers.
Yeah. And so when
Spam.
when he was interviewing Pootie Tang, I'm like, okay, so Pootie Tang is actually the name of a character.
Yeah.
Clearly a celebrity of some sort. So I was wondering, like, oh, is this going to be some kind of 8 Miley kind of thing? Like, is he a rapper? Because he looked a bit like a rapper.
Because he's
I thought it was going to be like an undercover brother thing where he's just part of an organization, you know.
and you both got a bit of both and neither.
Yeah.
Well, and then the first thing we saw in his film, the sign your titty on the...
Kitty. Or something.
Tying your kitty on the wasa, whatever. We'll find out later. The first thing we see is this like drug deal going on between these two,
And then you're like, oh, it's like Black
exaggerated-
Dynamite.
which I haven't seen. So I actually thought of it more of something that like what we made in our 3rd year of university, which was a
Where
very exaggerated show.
a pure hero comes in and saves everyone.
I didn't get immediately that he was meant to be this kind of pure like role model to kids until maybe the car wash scene where he got washed, he was all white, and then we got this whole montage of his history. Like I said, I really liked the whole too cool for words thing, scientists trying to like analyze it, and then the whole thing about like the montage of the things that he's been in and the public service announcements, and I really got a sense of this character basically in the first 5 minutes of the film, like which is what you were asking me about.
Yeah, for me, I find it great that, you know, the movie does seduce you into an expectation of when you look at him, you're thinking, oh, he's going to be like this Ali G type character, this narcissistic gangster type character, and instead
And also dumb.
and
Yeah.
dumb, but he's actually smart, well spoken when he does speak in, you know, words.
Conscientious man
Who's got real morals. Who, okay, I'll be honest, Rhys. Can you please tell me? Do you find Jennifer Coolidge in any of her films attractive? I just never got it. Like when they're like Stifler's mum, I'm like, okay, I get it for Stifler's mum. Like I get that context, but there's so many things in which it's like, yeah, no man can resist Jennifer Coolidge. I'm like, yeah, I know she's got big tits,
I'm gonna
but like
say yes.
other than that, yes.
Yes.
Is it because of the big fake titties?
No, in the voice.
Is it
The voice.
Oh, the voice.
and
Okay.
and the look. I did like
Okay,
it.
so you're just saying yes, everything about her.
Yes.
Okay, but I was like, what about you? Like, I get it. Like,
I'm-
she's got a thing going, but I just don't buy it as in she's the one that everyone cannot
I'm
like
not-
withhold themselves from.
I'm not too familiar with her, but I think maybe what gets people is the way she acts. Maybe,
Evil. She
Well,
acts
evil, but-
overtly evil.
but doesn't she kind of act like this sort of a femme fatale character? sexual
Yes.
character? Like,
Yeah.
when we saw her in Alexander, the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very
it
Bad
was
Day,
it was a shock.
I wasn't too familiar with her when you pointed out who she was, I'm like, oh, okay. And just looking at her, I wasn't immediately like in love or anything like that. But in this film, I definitely see more what you meant when you said that she plays that type of character.
Yeah, because you see it in the nature.
Because I think maybe it's when you tell her, all right, be sexy, then something she does just works. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah,
with
it's
her.
a persona. She doesn't do the good character of that. Yeah, I buy it. I do on a level buy it, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I think Pootie could resist this woman.
Look, I'm not the best.
No.
Like in an Undercover Brother, they have Denise Richards. I'm like, okay, now I understand.
But Jennifer Coolidge is like the
But she's
big
also
lady that just no one can resist because
she's a hoe.
Oh, she's a hoe. That's what they explain. Pootie Tang cannot resist hoes.
It's his weakness.
Well, the belt doesn't stop hoes.
No.
It's like that's the thing. That's my favorite line. Is like, yeah, but what his dad didn't tell him was his weakness is hoes. His dad knew that when the kid was 6. He's like, your weakness is hoes, or is it like that's the weakness for everyone is hoes? Like you can stop chicks but hoes.
he also didn't tell him that he bought the belt at the Piggly Wiggly. Hey, there's Bob Costas.
Biggie
Yeah, I
Shorty.
didn't understand this scene, basically. They're talking about it as if it's real life.
Well,
It's
that's
actually-
what we're saying. Is this real life or is this just fantasy?
Or is it just a review show, basically?
No. Is this real life or is this just fantasy? Now you know.
Well, now, well, that's the thing, like...
Is
you
her
know,
hair actually blue? That's a question.
No, it was orange before.
Well, now it's blue though.
Well,
Bartek.
right, clearly she's changing.
Well, times maybe it's different season and now her hair's blue in the
Maybe
winter.
you just don't know how aliens work, Ryan.
I do. I am one of those aliens.
Maybe
I am
she's
from
the
the.
Fifth Element.
I am from the Wanda Sykes planet, Psychtopia.
Oh, jeez, Ryan, you're talking like in LARPA.
A lapa.
Yeah.
A lapa? What's a lapa?
A live-action role player.
I'm a live-action Wanda Sykes player. I play Wanda Sykes all the time. Yo, boy! That's my Wanda Sykes impersonation. It's pretty
That
good.
was
She's also
something.
the best aspect of the film Evan Almighty, in which she has to play his secretary, she's had enough of Steve Carell's shit. I love Wanda Sykes in this movie. This is her iconic role, I would say. Biggie Shorty. She's great. She has a great interview in which she talks about like she's got a daughter now that she like tells to not wear skanky clothes. It's like thankfully she's never seen Pootie Tang, or else she'd be like, "Mom, you're in Pootie Tang and you're a whore in that. You're wearing Valiant clothes."
I didn't watch it, but I did see a video on YouTube that was titled "Wanda Sykes does not let her daughter watch Pootie Tang" or something.
I would. If I was her, I'd be proud.
I did watch the one about Louis C.K. talking about his experience with the film. To like, what's that guy's name?
And he loves it.
The guy with the crazy hair.
Howard
glasses.
Stern.
That's it. Howard Stern.
Look at her go.
What didn't he like making this film? Basically, Louis C.K.
No, he liked it, just the editing process with the producers and the studio.
That
like,
and
messing
the studio was against him from the beginning, and
But he
blah, blah, blah.
but he took a good message out of when he got yelled at by Goldwyn. It's like, I'm in like Universal Studios being yelled at by the top dog. This is awesome.
Yeah, I'd feel that way too.
It's
you know?
really like gangster movie
He'll-
sort of corporate. You know.
He also talked about how he used to watch Siskel and Ebert, and he was hoping one day when I'm a filmmaker they'll talk about my show. And then apparently in the episode they said we should kill the director or something.
What? You tell me Roger Ebert didn't give this 5 stars? A thumbs up?
He didn't, Ryan.
What?
What?
I don't expect that from Roger.
He gave it a whole half star.
Well, that's
Ooh.
better than no stars.
Your single mortal enemy, Ryan, gave it like a low.
Well, look,
rating.
Roger Ebert's dead now. Pootie Tang's alive. I think the world's in order. And that's
Hello.
commentary for you by Rhys.
Clap.
So, what were some twists and turns in this movie that took you all by surprise?
I was absolutely shocked that his best friend didn't stay at the farm.
Me too.
I
thought
loved that he forgot where the farm was. Like, he's like, I forgot that Pootie Tang was at the farm. I talked all this time about him being at the farm, and when I looked for him, I didn't think, oh yeah, Pootie Tang's at the farm.
Those are the kind of jokes that really get me, yeah.
Yeah, that and creepy old retarded men being like, get in me.
And then this scene here was also fantastic because
Because he rubs
Oh,
dirt
they
on
rub
his
dirt
face.
in
that too, but I love
guard
it. The
does
guard is
nothing.
always looking at them completely still and they're acting like, oh, he didn't see that.
Like, yeah, this bit, like, oh, it's so obvious. He's like, oh yeah.
just rub it on his face.
If a guard wasn't moving, you could probably just imagine that he's CGI.
Well, maybe he is CGI.
Or he's a statue.
No, CGI. It was the
Statue.
2000s. CG
But
was
you see,
big.
right,
Yeah, but it's the 2000s,
he's doing
it's
the
like a
neutral
statue,
pose that
like,
we learnt in
you know,
drama.
They didn't have enough
Arms
money
by
for
your
that.
side.
No, look, they're washing him. No, not
Doesn't
Dirty
the
G.
shower look almost exactly like the one from Big Stan?
Well, every prison shower looks like a prison shower.
Except the Naked Gun 3. It looks like a public toilet or something.
Well, in Naked Gun 3, that's the world of
Guys,
realism.
it's 33 1/3.
I know, but I just got to humour Reese because, you know, you got to. He's touching children and stuff, you know.
No, he's not.
I'm not touching
Why
children.
would you say that, Ryan?
I'm soz.
Oh, he said soz, so you
He
gotta
said
figure
He's
soz.
it out.
touching
we gotta
young
figure-
adults.
Reese, you have to say NP.
NP.
There you
He's
go,
touching
Ryan.
young adults. So,
Ah, yeah.
So,
This is the start of where Pootie Tang is going to have his big life lesson
with the corn.
with the corn.
I love
and
corn.
Basically, we get this whole speech about how he's got to be with his mate because he screwed him over. But then,
yeah, and
sort
it's
of not worth it.
And then the narration kicks in while he's also telling the stuff as it happens.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch this film muted with just subtitles in, it feels like they're just saying everything twice.
Yeah, well, fun fact, Louis C.K. did not want the narration.
Yeah.
It was added later, so this
Against
scene would
his
have
wishes.
this scene would have played out like a normal scene.
Really? No. Actually, I can't.
He
imagine
didn't
this
want.
movie.
He didn't want the best friend's narration.
And I really like Trucky's narration because Trucky, who we never find out why he's called that, by the way.
Well, it's like we don't find out why he's called Pootie.
Well, that's his name.
Pootie Tang.
Well, maybe Trucky's the same.
No, it's not.
Is there evidence for that, Ryan?
Evidence?
Evidence.
You want evidence? Well, this is when I pull out my jacket full of all these evidences of him actually not being called Trucky.
I don't want this science shit.
I don't want this evidence.
Ryan, you have come to me with so much scientific,
Evidence.
forensic, and also substantial evidence. I need more. This is all bullshit.
For anyone who hasn't seen it, please watch Flipper.
Just to watch the...
I'll watch Flipper.
So, I like
It's
how...
one of my favourite episodes that we've done.
Just look at Pootie. He's asleep.
Yeah.
And he's doing this, and then like when he's awake, he's still like, how can I make this straw hang out of
Is
him?
is that in his nose?
He's got it in his pants.
Also, look at his dick.
That's
Damn.
That's a white dick too. It's weird.
That's.
So I loved. What are they doing?
He's shoveling. And I think he's using a hoe,
Or
which is his one
pickaxe.
weakness.
I think it's a pickaxe. Or
Why
a
would
hoe.
Why would he use
Yeah.
a pickaxe on a farm? He's clearly using a hoe.
Yeah.
Farming.
But I don't think he's using the hoe. He's using the hoe like a pickaxe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a farmer boy, but I
No,
think that's...
in comedy movies, have you noticed this trend of, it's always been there, that in these ones like this, the hero has to take a moment of exile from everything, like in
That's part of the hero's journey, yeah.
Anchorman 2, The
Oh,
Return.
yeah. That was a
Will
really
Ferrell-
long escape.
Will Ferrell, for no reason, becomes blind for 45 minutes in that movie and lives in like a
Lighthouse.
lighthouse, and it's the worst part of that movie. It was a really good movie until that point.
It just got really, really dark all of a sudden.
It was like, oh, he's blind, and now he's got. No, this is like this with Pootie Tang. It's like, oh, he's become a farmer. He's given up on the ways of
He's
being
learning
Pootie.
about Hakuna Matata.
He's learning about Pootie Tang,
How to be Pootie Tang.
and also how to have. Have you noticed that he's only had sex with white women in this movie?
Well, he had it with
This movie's-
Biggie Shorty.
He hasn't yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
she
yeah,
gave him the
yeah,
thumb.
yeah, that's right. Duh.
And then she did it again to thank her.
So in this movie, he has sex with white women primarily. I love that this movie doesn't do that stereotypical thing of, oh, he's doing it with a white woman or white people are bad necessarily. Like they are doing that
They
with
have
the
jungle fever.
corporate America or stuff, but it's not like when he sleeps with Irene or whatever. It's like, oh, that white devil, blah blah blah. It was like, oh, he slept with a white woman. It's like, I like the fact that it's like, oh, he just slept with someone, and it's like, oh, she manipulated him just because she was a woman. You know, it could be because she could be black or white. It doesn't really matter, but she's white because she's working for corporate America. But I like that little touch, you know, in a lesser movie.
They didn't make it a race thing.
Yeah, they didn't really. A movie that really deals with black characters doesn't really focus on racial issues that much. Like there's the obvious things of like this, you know, the hick kind of marry my daughter or you know, the kind of corporate America stuff, but that's not really that overt in like something like Black Dynamite and Undercover Brother. Movies I both love, but they're both like the main character's like the man and he wants the black man to be eradicated. While in this movie, Pootie Tang could be a white guy, you know, like, you know, I mean, it could be any, like, you know, the story doesn't really revolve around it being a big race issue kind of thing.
And that's also doubled down by the fact that, and you can confirm this, Ryan, that in small towns like these, they don't usually like newcomers or strangers.
Oh, strangers. I hate those people, yeah.
I was expecting the sheriff to be a little bit racist.
But he wasn't, was
Not
he?
at all.
He just wanted people to marry his daughter, who is, you know, a nice girl.
Like when Dirty D shows up, you think that the sheriff might say something like, but he just says we don't want trouble here.
Yeah, because the guy's
Against the guy who clearly wants trouble.
A guy with, like, who's thugged through a whole bottle of tequila at a car.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like that. I'd be like, hey, buddy, you know, I love how he's like, Dirty D, why would you let him sit on anything you own?
Because you got to show that you trust him.
Yeah, I love the weird, like, backwards C mark there on his jacket.
It's some kind of stain or something.
I don't know what it
Looks
is.
like a hole.
But it isn't.
I like to see the makeup process for Dirty D.
They just rolled him around in dirt.
Bring
Did
in
you
the
not
dirt.
see? Yeah. Did you not see the scene in which you will see the scene in which he walks into town and grabs a pile of dirt and eats it?
I love that, yeah.
Is that real dirt, you think?
No, it wouldn't have to be real dirt.
It'd have to be.
It'd have to be.
you
Did you not
can't-
see the real dirt?
Well, if you eat dirt, it just comes back out. Like, it's like...
Well, it does cut away, Reese.
What do you mean by that?
Well,
Everything
isn't
that
it-
you eat comes right out.
No,
in the end.
hang on.
What, you, like-
When you eat dirt, wouldn't it be like cinnamon and it just comes back out like that?
What do you mean?
When you say come back, you mean it doesn't go down?
No, yeah.
Are you saying that you can't swallow... Oh, David Cross doing Tobias. Good job. Are you telling me that you can't just swallow dirt?
Well,
I think what Reese is trying to say, but he said it completely wrong,
I don't
is that
know.
it's hard to swallow like cinnamon.
No, it isn't.
it isn't? Okay.
I feel like it's a lot...
What are you
I
doing?
feel like it's a lot softer.
Like sand.
Yeah, well, sand can be thick, depending on what
Yeah,
sand.
but like you could eat
So
sand
can
pretty
dirt.
easy.
Yeah, probably. I don't think it would be so thick. I think there's something in
And
cinnamon...
this is what Pootie Tang brings to the table. These kinds of discussions. Is eating dirt like eating cinnamon? Well, Reese just said something. I don't know what.
He said yes.
necessarily-
He said yes.
I don't know if he said yes. You're putting words
Well,
in his
what if-
mouth.
Let's go do a test right now.
All right. Ryan, where's the dirt?
Okay, here it is. Eat some of this, baby.
Just take that.
Okay.
Ryan, please stop making weird commentary over Reese. Reese, what's your consensus?
On the dirt.
Yes.
Yeah, on dirt.
Is it like cinnamon?
Is it yum yum in the tum tum?
It's kind of like
Dirt.
dirtish. Yeah.
Okay,
dirt?
but was it easy to swallow?
Yes.
It was
Okay.
like really easy to swallow.
Yeah, because
Remember.
That's a good still shot.
Because if you heard, I ate it like a squirrel, basically. So
And Ryan made slurpy noises.
yeah.
Well, I was slurping because I saw him. Yeah.
I like how it's only been like 2 minutes and we got this whole remember her, that's the sheriff's daughter. Before Irene, it was just remember in brackets.
No wonder Louis C.K. didn't like this. It's just like
What are you talking about?
Remember?
I think it's his problem. He didn't like it, and that's why this movie failed. I think he sabotaged the film that was great. I mean, this sensual scene here that American Pie really tried to emulate with a pie, but they didn't go to the level that Pootie Tang did. Did I mention it's called Pootie Tang? Pootie Tang.
I think this film came out before American Pie. and
No,
it
American
was-
Pie was in 1999, I'm pretty sure. I think it was the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
And this came out in 2001.
Yeah. So I think this is trying to make American Pie better.
Yeah, but I'm saying American Pie wished it could have done this. Like,
Yeah.
it
I think,
didn't-
this scene is saying, hey, American Pie, why didn't you do this? And this scene here is so brilliant. I thought it was a dream sequence.
I thought this scene was so brilliant that it was going to end with him being smashed through a plate of glass where you can see the padding behind his back to protect him from the glass.
I
And-
didn't see any padding.
Are you sure?
Wait.
I'll
okay,
have a look.
Let's just have a look. It's
You
happen.
really got to watch this scene.
To see it.
Yeah, there it is.
I saw it. It was there.
I'll have a look next time. They show
Oh.
us.
Oh God, Barnes! Like, how did you not see it? You're looking like at the walls in the house. I could tell.
It's very good, mise en scene, Ryan.
Well, the mise en
walls-
scene here is really great because she's got February behind her, and we're doing this not in that month, so that's nice.
But it says at on the side, and it's like, it is at
Oh,
your
so this is
house,
a period
Ryan.
piece.
Yes.
I like the walls.
Because it's
2001
pink.
AT.
Okay, go. So this is set in February in 2001. So 9/11 didn't happen yet, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still had a few months.
I like in stories like this, like one person doesn't do their job and the whole everyone falls to decay like instantly. Like you know what I mean? Like without Pootie Tang being there for a week, everyone's like being scum to each other.
Well, and this is something that we haven't really emphasized as much about Pootie Tang, is that his whole power is his righteousness and goodness.
Yeah, like Batman.
We've mentioned that he's, a great guy and he's charismatic, but the motivation, the power that he has comes from the fact that he knows right from wrong. That's why I used the word conscientious earlier.
And, for a moment there, the film is trying to tell us that he's doing it through a magical element of the belt. But then the movie says, no, that's silly. That's just his perception. It's actually, he is the one. It's inner strength, inner courage.
He has the genes of someone who can just use a belt really good.
Well, I'm sure he trained himself to use the belt pretty good. It's not a race thing.
No. It's
not a genetic
It's not a
thing.
race thing, no.
It's not a genetic thing. Fun fact about Pootie Tang is that this film... What? You're already
This
laughing.
scene, like with
well, this
Daddy
is what I'm going to
Tang as
say.
corn
The fun fact about
starch.
Pootie Tang is the fact that Chris Rock is so many characters in this movie, but the best being the dad.
Yeah.
And I love that in this silly movie, they really do mix this surreal, weird, absurd, farcical humor a lot more than an Austin Powers movie. Where in an Austin Powers movie, the jokes make sense in context, but this is like, they asked Chris, hey, can we paint checkers of corn all over your face for this? And he's like, of course you can.
Disco corn, I like to think of it as.
Chris Corn.
Discourse corn.
Corn Rock.
Corn rock. That's actually a pretty good name.
Yeah, I name a band that, and they just do nothing but country music. You're listening to Corn Rock, and it's just like a ballad.
I think I just noticed this is done in the studio. The background is fake.
No, that's actually a real background.
I think it's fake.
No, this is real.
Oh, I guess
She's actually a cow. He's
No,
actually corn.
The backdrop is fake.
No. This is all real.
whether it's real or not, it does kind of have a painted look to it.
It's very beautiful, to say the least. Yeah, it's got that, what's that Disney, that really racist live-action Disney one where the...
Songs of the South.
It has a real Songs of the South aesthetic to it. You know what I'm saying by
She's
that?
doing whiteface.
That's so racist against me as a white man. I feel oppressed.
I feel impressed.
Yeah, she does look good in whiteface.
And now she's gone because the white face was so offensive. We go look at Disco Face.
They needed to, make Louis C.K. feel better.
Oh, there she is again.
It's kind of like...
But she's not in the same shots as them.
It's because it was filmed on a different day.
It's like Reese's Year 12 film.
Oh, God. Don't bring that.
So, Reese, you made a U12 film called Pootie Tang's Mum.
It was called Running Into a Cesspool. It's on YouTube.
It's called Pootie Tang's Running Into a Cesspool with his mum. Was it any good?
Bartek, I think you should.
I've watched it many times.
Is it good?
We find it funny because
Is it
we have a
Pootie
bunch of
Tang
story.
good?
We needed Pootie Tang in it. I mean, all the actors in the film were white, so Then again, Reese, you did wear a beanie over your whole face.
So you could have been Pootie Tang, okay.
Reese played two characters,
I
actually.
played two characters.
Like Chris Rock played 3. That's impressive.
And he was the director, so that's, I guess, 3 things. And the editor.
Wow, you got more than Louis did.
Yeah.
So
Did you get yelled at by Goldwyn?
see, I like this monologue here.
I sort of got yelled by Irving, but no.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that monologue there. And the weird hand waving. Hi there, sweetie.
Don't you like it when, fathers talk about you having sex with their daughters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it too. And then he laughs.
So when's the wedding? That's what he's going to say.
No, that's terrific. Well, partner. See, he said terrific first. So one of my favorite moments in this film is Pootie Tang interacts with this
Sheriff.
No, this white blonde-haired lady that looks exactly like a young Christian Bell, and I'm like, is this Christian Bell? And I didn't look it up.
I don't think it is Christian Bell.
Isn't Kristen Bell the girl in the credits who's like the daughter of the guy with the cigar?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's my favorite bit in the part. And I'm like, is that Kristen Bell?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Here it is.
Here it is. No, that's real dirt. That's real dirt. And he's a hero. How dry is his tongue? How much sinus problems does he have?
It's dirty.
A lot. It looks like he has a lot.
I like how Froggy doesn't look too dirty.
No, we already mentioned this. He's got a frog aesthetic going on.
Yeah.
Hence he's got the red tie to represent the tongue.
I didn't think of that. That's
a pretty good point.
Nah, I'm a genius. Yeah.
And did you notice that Dirty D has dirt to represent the dirty?
I also noticed that he has a D.
Well, I mean, we saw Pootie Tang's D.
And we've also seen women drink milk out of a bowl on the floor, and let's not forget this was written by a white man, so this is his interpretation of this
Written by a white man told by a black man to do it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Louis C.K. came up with this.
I'm not.
Oh, we should see that again, guys.
I actually do want to see it again. Could I see it again, please? We're going to make the movie slightly longer.
Just because it needed to reach it, basically.
Don't we see
that Chris Rock monologue didn't make it long enough. We need more.
Yeah. Well, wait, Chris Rock monologue?
The one from earlier. The one that you're like, I love this monologue. You should do this at auditions.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about Trucky's little. Oh, can we see that again?
No. I'm saying Chris Rock's monologue.
Yeah, that was a great monologue.
Yeah, let's see it a couple more times. The bell. What is on the belt?
It's kind of like the movie Old Dogs. Have you seen Old Dogs?
We've done Old Dogs on the show. You should be up to date, buddy.
In the like at the end of the climax, basically when he falls in the pool, like 4 times.
Oh, classic Seth Green. No,
I love this.
yeah, this is great when they keep getting closer.
This is great fast.
Now, which one was your favorite bit cut? Like, which one was yours? My favorite is when their hands are like, their arms are like out, which will be coming up soon. Where this one, that's my favorite.
See,
it's the one that makes zero sense.
I mean, it was the punchline, but him going "huh" was kind of the one that
Like
really
he
got
doesn't
me.
know how he got here.
Yeah, like that was the one that made me laugh, like the punchline. But the build-up definitely also was very funny because they were getting closer. Because the first shot, they were really far apart, and you're thinking, you can't do anything with this. And has he gotten closer?
I do love that the belt is magical because it just hissed at him,
And
it also scampered back to Pootie Tang. Also, I love that it's not the belt, it's you, but that he actually does prove it is the belt by just using, like, he does nothing without the belt, and then he gets the belt, and then he's like, I'm Pootie Tang again.
It's like how you have the vampire killer whip in Castlevania. You use it against a vampire, it's good. You use it against something else, it's not as good, but it's still alright. It's a whip. But he was half-hearted with his belt. He was like, it's going to hit you and that's going to do everything. No, you need to have power behind it.
Don't you like that punchline joke there? Guess you, slapped him like a bitch. That was a good joke.
He didn't even slap him.
Yeah, he whipped him.
Yeah, the first time bitch was used.
Who's your favourite at the wedding?
I liked Trucky.
No, I like this little redhead lady that was behind the bride.
Yeah,
Is that your favourite character?
No, favourite at the wedding, I said. What about you?
At the wedding?
Yeah, at the wedding. These people here. I like little redhead lady because she seems really invested in their marriage. She's like, hey, who's this?
I like Pootie Tang's top hat.
Yeah, and I like how it slightly doesn't fit him.
I like how he gives it to Trucky.
And Trucky's like, yay. I like, how it doesn't fit him, the top hat, slightly. So that's when he gives it to Trucky, it fits Trucky.
Trucky is big head.
Does he?
I mean, because he's bald, you can see like the bump on the back.
The skull.
Yeah.
No. Pootie Tang, no.
Pootie Tang, why are you selling malt liquor?
I love that it feels like we've been talking only for 10 minutes and the movie's nearly over. That's the thing about Pootie Tang. It's got a breakneck pace to it. If you don't like Pootie Tang, at least you could say in comparison to like recent comedy movies that actually go for 2 hours, that this movie knows how long it needs to be for. It knows to come in, come out, to Pootie and to Tang.
And also, if you don't like Pootie Tang, then you made a mistake at some point.
So
Yeah, I mean, look at his shirt. Isn't that a great shirt that Chucky's got on?
That is a nice.
Oh, I like the priest actually. Why does he look like Alec Baldwin's
He's
gay
doing
brother?
Blue Steel.
Yeah, I know. Why has he got Alec Baldwin's gay brother? Look at him. Look at him in the back. Did you see that? He was almost as good as the principal from Cruel Intentions.
He was doing like a glass-glow, like eye raise while looking down.
David Cross really is Tobias
He
in
looks
this movie because
worried.
he would have been doing Arrested Development around this time.
He's 2001.
Yeah, he would have been filming it at least 2002, 3, I'm sure.
Sadatai. See, they use T-A-Y.
He kind of looks worried.
Yeah, but it's because he's pronouncing it wrong. Everything he's saying as Duty Tang is slightly off.
Oh, I love this crack.
Yeah, this is me when I have
the
fights
punchline.
about cats.
I thought
on
this
this
is
show.
you when you're talking about Miss. Actually, no. Yeah, when you talk about cats, what am I talking about?
Now let's talk about cats. Now let's talk about the appropriate use of blackface by David Cross.
Yeah, so the reason why it's appropriate is because he's trying to impersonate a black person.
Yeah.
And a white person can't do that.
Unless they're black-faced up. And
Yeah.
how can corporate America make us believe that this white man's black?
Beat that perfect logic.
It's like that woman who pretended for years... No, that woman who was an expert on African-American histories and stuff, and she was claimed to be African-American, but in fact she just was using tan stuff for a large part of her career. She was the whitest chick you know.
It also reminded when all the fakes come out and some of them are just, like, they're not tanned or...
They're white. They're just.
Something white. It reminded me of one of the gags in Black Annie, where all these people were auditioning to be Annie's fake parents, and two of them were white.
Yeah. I basically love... Now, in movies, I don't know if this works in real life, but if you just cover your hand on a microphone in a public place where reporters are only 2 meters away from you, can they not hear you?
They can still hear you.
Let's
because
test it out.
Can you hear me still?
No,
I don't
they
think-
can't hear you.
I can't.
Let's
oh.
try 2 hands.
Now that can they hear me still? I don't think. I think this is minutes of silence on the podcast.
Okay, let's take our hands off the mic.
Okay, so wait, we got to be on the we got to do it properly. Yeah, so I fucking hate these listeners. They're just the shittest
Ryan,
cunts in the world.
I noticed that in the thing he had like a big
he
round
had,
open, so
he
you
had a
could
big
like
round
talk into
opened
it.
up, so towards them as well. So towards his mouth, so he'll be like, "Yeah, I fucking hate these cunt listeners. They're just, I mean, who the hell is downloading 45 episodes in a row of my show from Japan? I mean, who's this crazy nut job? I don't know.
It wasn't
who
me.
it was.
I swear.
Either way, okay, we're back now. Yeah, I love the audience that listens to our show. I don't think they're scum at all.
Yes, thank you for listening. Arigato gozaimasu.
Sumimasen.
Sucky. So, wow, Rhys.
What?
Racism in a
Reese-
movie that doesn't
I'm pretty sure
feature
Reese
racism?
apologized, and you just said sucky.
Wow, Rhys. Now you're apologizing for your racism. Now you're apologizing for your racism, huh? You stand by your convictions, mate. That's the weakest form of racism. You're not gonna... Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out on being a hypocrite. You know who you should be inspired by?
Who?
Pootie Tang. He's been true to himself from the beginning. You need to be true to yourself, and that's the lesson of Pootie Tang. Now, why did Pootie Tang not make it into the mainstream media as a cult, as even a cult classic or just a classic? I think a part of it is that it was sabotaged by Louis C.K. And I think really at the end of the day, I think it's because it's a comedy style that was of the time, that was swamped by every other comedy style of the time. So you would have had Austin Powers, Zoolander was previously mentioned, and you had 9/11 happen, so that really did kind of sweep comedies like this underneath the rug. But I think this style of comedy, this was just another one. Like you had Master of Disguise that did this style of comedy. You had Austin Powers, all 3 of them, and people are really loyal to what comedy ones they like they are video games. So people who like this style of comedy will be like, no, Austin Powers the top dog at this.
Yeah, and I think there's also, I mentioned that this film has that whole narrative device of that it is a product that was made in this world, and because it's like meant to be a vanity product of this fictional character.
No, he's real.
Of Pootie Tang, like the not this one, but the one that the
in
actor,
the real world,
the actor playing himself. This whole vanity project feel to it. It would have a lot of exaggeration. It would have a lot of exaggeration, but building up things, of being farcical, following its own logic. I think people might have forgotten that. Because it was established so early in the film, and they would think this is just a stupid film made by stupid people.
But little did they know it's made by Louis C.K., one of the smartest comedians of our generation.
Well, that's looking at it from the full-on meta thing. I'm talking about how this film was made by Pootie Tang, and then Pootie Tang was a character in the film Pootie Tang made by Louis C.K.
Yeah, this film is made by Pootie Tang.
They're forgetting about the existence of that second layer, and I think remembering that and understanding what that implies, kind of like how when you watch The Producers, you don't go, Springtime for Hitler was such a stupid idea. You think, oh, yeah, it was being used by these people, and it's meant to be stupid.
I like how these people have an unhappy marriage because they've been forced to live together. I mostly love that the what happened to the characters thing happens quite some time before the actual credits happen.
Oh yeah, the final tense moment between Bob Costas and Pootie Tang. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
and now we're back in that second layer.
Or is this a third layer?
And see, he used T-A-Y in his subtitle as well.
He's a cobbler? That was one of his jobs.
Yeah.
Just love that.
That made me laugh, yeah.
You know what made me really laugh? The end credits. I love credits that just give you more. There wasn't so much bloopers in this movie. Yeah, they had some bloopers, but they were like scenes on the cutting room floor, which we know that there would be so many from this film. I want a director's cut of this movie that goes as long as a Zack Snyder cut. I want an epic Pootie Tang story, like
Ultimate Edition,
the ultimate Tang, they would call it. And look, I wanted to see this scene play out fully in the real movie, not at the end of the credits. But I'm glad that
pants.
No, he's wearing little pants. And that's actually, I don't know, he's wearing glasses. And look, that microphone just goes off. Goodbye, microphone. So
I almost cried when he broke
It's
the
just
record.
like-
He didn't
Then
break the
didn't.
record though.
But then he
He
didn't.
bent the record like a floppy disk on his head.
It'd be ruined.
And then here we are. Look, there's
Kristen Bell.
Christian Bell. Is it actually her? I didn't look it up. It looks like
No,
her
it is,
so
it is.
much.
Her
It
name's
is
in the
her.
credits.
I thought I was crazy because I'm like, she was
You are
fairly
crazy, but
young.
you're right.
She was fairly young when Veronica Mars happened. She must be really young here. But
like
you
she's
kind
in-
of forget how old people are in Hollywood sometimes. Like when Amy Adams is in her 40s. I nailed this. I knew it was
Yeah.
her. It's because she looks the exact same now, but her hair is less early 2000s.
And you know it's over for her because Truckee said so.
And then she becomes one of Dirty D's girls.
She does?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Don't we all become one of Dirty
I
D's?
didn't watch the credits. Oh, my God.
Well, you didn't watch
There's
the
a
movie.
lot of credits,
You
Reese.
didn't even watch the movie, Reese. There's this bit where he's gonna you sing your pity on the runny kind, and then look,
Sang
she's
your
a
pity on the
she's a
runny kind.
dirty girl now. Isn't that? And look, more humping from Jennifer Coolidge. So the movies end. Wait, Bartek. Yeah, I didn't see it again. He has padding, Bartek. It's so good. I like how he looks personally uncomfortable as an actor.
There you go, Kristen Bell.
Yeah. So that's the film. Thanks, David Cross as Dennis. Good job. Chuck Jeffries is Bad Biddy. You did such a good job. So we're going to get into the reviews and ratings from us. And there's some reviews from IMDb and some comments from YouTube, Bartek.
No.
No?
Not this
Did you
time.
bring any special gifts from the internet?
Did I bring a special gift? I did. What you said not quite right, but I did.
Oh, is your special gift Pootie Tang himself in an interview
Oh,
with
you'll
us?
find out. You're going to be in for a surprise, Mr. Sliwinski.
Well, I'm going to get straight into my review right now. Pootie Tang? More like Pootie Dang. Because this movie is also Pootie Dank.
Pretty dank.
Why are you laughing at my dank meme? So...
Yeah, it didn't rhyme, but it was still pretty good,
Yeah, yeah.
Reese.
No, but it was all words.
It didn't rhyme, that's disgusting, but it was still good, Reese. You should show him respect.
You show me respect. I'm
For
Pootie's
his
father.
fucking stupid thing that he said, Reese. Say good job.
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
No, say it properly.
Good.
Reese, you owe him a sumimasen.
Reese, you're being really bad
Good-
because
good-
Bob Coletti
good-
played Gorilla.
Good job.
Thank you.
Mushawaki.
So, I'm going to
nothing.
get into it. This movie was an experience to revisit. It's a timepiece, but the movie also says it's set in 2001, so it saves itself on that.
The good part of 2001.
The good early days of 2001. It was an innocent time to be alive, you know? The cinematics landscape really did change after 9/11, and this is a product before 9/11. Even though it did come out after, probably, or during that time, this was made in the era before, and it's just such a carefree, friendly, happy-go-lucky world in which, you know, you can have this kind of weird character type in which there's hero type in which, if you notice in comedies now, every hero in a comedy is some kind of jerk character who has to learn to be better by the end of it. Well, this movie says, no, Pootie Tang's great. You should already like him, as does Austin Powers. Austin Powers is already a great guy. All this kind of stuff, you know. I think it's a really emotional film. You know, Pootie Tang says lots of words that have imbued themselves into the pop culture that we live in today, you know.
Well, part of it being an unappreciated masterpiece is that it hasn't done that enough.
Enough, yeah. Like I often say to myself, I say lots of things like Pootie Tang's name. When I pray, I say Pootie Tang. I say pity with 2 T's on the runny side, on the runny kind. So, if I had to give this a rating, it's hard not to use some kind of Pootie Tang language to give this a rating, but I'm going to strive to be different because I feel like you're going to do that well, Bartek. I'm going to give this one unconscious child out of Reese touching them.
So 100%?
100%.
Okay.
God damn it. What is the matter with me? I can't even do this.
Do what? Touch kids?
No!
That's a good thing. That's a good thing if you can't do it, Reese.
He said no.
What?
So that means yes. I said, so you can't touch kids, and you yelled no.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm broken. I'm a broken machine that just walks around somehow.
But don't worry, Rhys. People
I'm a
would still
broken machine.
people
I'm
would still
broken.
kiss you, Rhys. It's okay.
It's what?
I said people will still kiss you. It's okay.
Oh,
No,
God.
that's his review. I'm a broken
What?
machine. I'm a broken machine.
But then he watched Pootie Tang.
And then I watched Pootie Tang.
And now you're rating. No, seriously. Give us your review and rating, Mr. Machine.
Oh, now. Okay, right.
No, I'm talking about 10 minutes ago. You're behind the times.
Let him do his review. Let's go.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
I'll cover the mic while we do it.
Okay.
Just think about the poor kid on the ground that needs you to
No,
touch
we're not
them.
going to think about the poor kid on the ground.
All right, look, Rhys. Just think about your feelings for the movie, expectations, what it did for you.
Basically, I as I said earlier in the episode, I knew about this episode,
This episode? Or
This-
show?
Movie.
in Scary Movie 3. And eventually I knew that, maybe Pootie Tang is just one of those crappy films that I'm never going to watch. Ever going to watch. And then along comes Spit and Polish and they say, hey, could you possibly do an episode for Pootie Tang? And I'm like,
Well, you have to, please.
yes. I'm like, okay, why not? I'll give Pootie Tang a go. But before I usually do these sort of reviews, I usually do the disclaimer of going on to Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.
Yeah.
And wait, was that right?
Yeah, I don't.
IMDb, all right.
IMDb, yes.
IMDb.
Internet Movie Database.
Yeah, yeah.
International Movie Database? No.
And obviously the critics were not kind to this movie. The critics were very unkind to this movie.
Racist.
But I watched it and I was impressed. I wasn't that, disappointed with this movie. This movie was actually quite good. There was some fantastic gags in this film, especially the song in this film. Like Pootie Tang's hit song.
Which one? Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot nearly.
Yeah, you forgot about.
The lyrics were just too good.
The lyrics were just too
We've
good.
been playing it over this whole episode.
I think
I will play it when the episode's done, too.
Yeah.
If you just stay on the page.
I think this movie does deserve a lot more respect, basically. A little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit more. Like a lot of films on Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe they just need to give some leeway. Just a little bit of leeway. Maybe an extra 10%. Just to give them a little bit more credit. So I give this an Eddie Murphy out of a Chris Rock.
That's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. What about you, Bartek? What a day.
This movie is definitely one that has the potential to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest. But like I said, there are just people in society who, and you know what, I've probably said this in many reviews in the past, but
Jacks.
this was a movie that was trying to do something brave, something different. And when I say brave, I'm not saying it's trying to do something that's normally bad and it turns out good. I'm saying that it was doing something that is good, but people just don't understand, which is this whole thing of it is this second layer of filmmaking where you need to understand the first... Sorry, it's a 3-layer of filmmaking. The real life thing, the people in the thing making the thing, and then the thing itself. So most of this movie, the movie clip that we see is that innermost layer, the second one. Then the first layer, oh look, that's the third. The second layer is the one that people don't understand.
What about the fourth?
Fourth, Ryan, fuck you.
Oh, that's
I'm
the fourth
sorry,
layer?
I'm sorry.
Is that the
Let's all
fourth?
give Ryan a hug.
Don't touch me, you touch the children.
I was stressed out. I didn't know what to say, and I went to profanity, and I am sorry.
Such a
You did not
racist.
deserve that. I love you, and don't take that out of context, and I respect you. So people don't understand the second layer. The second layer being where the Bob Costas and Pootie Tang characters were having a conversation.
They did that, yes.
What that means for the film is that it is made by a logic that is outside of the first layer, which is real life. That's where Louis C.K., Chris Rock, and all that come in. So when you say things like, fuck you, those two guys, how could you make this such a stupid movie? They then would rightfully say, hey,
It's Saturday.
we made the film, technically, yes, but in the context of the film,
No, you could leave it at that. We made the film technically, yes.
That's a good sentence.
yes. But when you consider that second layer, you realize, hey, we're not the only ones who made it. There was also Pootie Tang himself. And in that universe, we've only really established Pootie Tang and Bob Costas. And if you're really trying to come up with a funky fancy theory...
Fan fiction, yeah.
Funky fancy theory, then you would say that Biggie Shorty is also there. Whether she is the real-life actress Biggie Shorty, which was described in that second layer, or not...
Or Wanda Sykes playing who Biggie Shorty is.
Yeah, because he refers to her as Biggie Shorty, so maybe she was Biggie Shorty playing a character named Biggie Shorty, just like Pootie Tang was playing a character named Pootie Tang.
And Dirty D was Dirty D.
And so maybe it was, who knows, maybe it was a This Is the End kind of thing, or maybe it was more of an exaggerated thing, like This Is the End really was.
Or documentary.
So,
Good point.
basically, if you understand this whole dynamic of the second layer and the third layer, and I guess also the first layer, but that's not the most important thing at this point, you would see that this film is actually doing something incredible. But with me saying all that and me also getting kind of confused with the layers, you realize that it's a bit confusing, and I think that was the problem for society. They just didn't understand the brilliance behind this three-layered filmmaking.
Society.
I think, and look, you can make a three-layered film and maybe it'll turn out bad, but I'm saying that this is a three-layered film that turned out fantastic. Excellent gags, excellent messages, excellent characters, great jokes. It was very funny, very catchy. That was 6 things I just listed, and there are probably 6 million more I could say. But I think that this film is definitely one that people need to check out, whether they are, brought to it by a recommendation, whether they think Pootie Tang is just a great name, or maybe like you two guys, you saw Scary Movie 3, and was Scary Movie 3 kind of implying that it wasn't a great film?
Yes.
No, it's implying that it was a popular movie.
No, it's implying it was a film that if people watched it, they died.
Okay, so maybe there is that one element of pop culture that references it, and you might be having a negative opinion. But guys, Scary Movie 3, I assume that's a very silly movie.
It's a great film.
I'm assuming there's
It's got Charlie Sheen in it.
I'm assuming there's a lot of fiction in it.
It's a true story.
And you got to remember that in these films of fiction, sometimes they say things that are fiction too.
You got it.
And basically what I'm saying is, give Pootie Tang a chance, and it will give you an experience and a journey.
What's your rating?
The rating that I give this film
Sabotage.
is the 12 Trials of Hercules. and he got the top high score in all of them. He got 1,000,000 points in all 12 of them. He got the high score in all of them. He got the prizes for all of them. And he got into Guinness Book of World Records.
That's excellent. You know who got a Guinness Book of World Record? This reviewer here that gave this movie a 7-star on IMDb. Their title is called Great Camp.
What? Great Camp?
Yeah, like campy fun.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Camp?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but they wrote it like CAMP.
Sabotage.
So 7 stars from 2002, so it's been a year after the film for this person. This movie is so unique. It may be as difficult for some to understand as it is to figure out Pootie's language. I was captivated from the first scene right up to the end. Kudos to Lance Crouther for his truly inspired performance as the hero. His physical comedy while combating his foes, or even just interacting with everyone else, was brilliant and quirky. You really find yourself focusing on him in every scene, just to see what he was going to do next. There is also the ensemble of actors that inhabit Pootie's world, all of whom did a great job. I often read critics making comparisons between the modern character actors and how they pale before the ones of distant past. Raz! Wrong. That's...
Did you say Raz?
Raz! Wrong.
Let me see.
I think you meant bzzt, but okay.
Alright.
Raz! Wrong. These people hammed it up with style and flair. I'm Dirty D, damn it! Sadate, my brothers. That was a good one. But then we have an 8-star review.
Ooh.
How much was the last one?
7. This is My Dilly, all spelt lowercase. 8 stars from 2007, so it's been quite some time since Pootie Tang. It's criminal how underrated this movie is. It's inspired on so many levels, and the encyclopedic knowledge of action films, hip-hop music videos, and 70s black exploitation and chop-socky movies is breathtaking. I always think of it in the same class as The Jerk and Zoolander, with a healthy respect for flat-out absurdity and non-stop gags. The filming style is rough, and the actors generally have no polish.
Hey,
That's us.
they're black.
An undoubtedly deliberate choice, which makes the sudden flashes of precision so devastatingly funny. Wanda Sykes in particular is absolute gold as party girl Biggie Shorty, but the film's full of co-stars: Andy Richter, Dave Attell, Jennifer Coolidge, J.D. Williams, Missy Elliott, Robert Vaughn. It's full of them, who all get their turn on the silliness carousel. I can imagine someone who isn't a fan, or at least an observer of the above things, would hate this film like poison. But for me, yeah, I hate poison. But for me, who has seen more Jay-Z videos than I want to ever see in my life, and who can't help stop laughing when I see a man use kung fu to bounce bullets off his hair, might I add, a gag too complicated to explain but seamless on the screen, Pootie Tang is fantastic. I would recommend it more, but it's just too hard to describe. Are you going to show us your internet? Are you going to show me a surprise, Bartek, or do you want some more reviews? Because I have a 7-star one called Sadate, Pootie Tang is okay.
Let's go with Sadate, Pootie Tang's okay.
From 2004. Pootie Tang is the ultimate guilty pleasure film. Sometimes I ask myself, why do I laugh at this? I don't know why, but it's funny as hell. Chris Rock is genius. I don't know how you... I love this. Chris Rock is genius. I don't know how you come up with a story about a funny talking superhero. That's one statement. Throughout the whole movie, this guy is saying things that doesn't make any sense, but the characters surrounding him all understand. How do you come up with something like that? and put it into a feature film. So not only is this guy confused by the idea of you doing that in the first place, but then he's also like, and how then do you do it in a feature film? Like, they're two separate things.
He's thinking that it's an original thought.
One-liners like Sadate and Sign Your Pity on the Runny Kind are classics. Pootie Tang was conceived on the HBO hit The Chris Rock Show in this spin-off movie. Pootie is trying to take all the junk food, drugs, and alcohol off the street that is being distributed by Dick Lecter. The supporting cast includes the Chris Rock Show regulars, including Wanda Sykes, and that's all he was.
He didn't bother.
I thought you got confused there, and I'm like, what?
No.
Like, that's it.
Pootie Tang seems like Pootie Tang seems like a send-up of 70s black exploitation films, but at the same time, I don't know what it is.
I just can't appraise this film.
Pootie Tang is a mixed bag of funk music, cheesy action, and comedy. It all works for Pootie Tang, making it the most unusual film ever made. Pootie Tang, rated PG-13, 3 out of 5.
Was that a trailer transcript?
No, that's just their personal opinion. They want you to know it's rated PG. So,
Very supporting characters, Wanda Sykes.
I'm gonna give you another one, and you're gonna reveal your surprise, Bartek, if there is one. His surprise is, I don't have one. This one's a short one from Brazil. It's called Funny is the Word. 9 stars.
Ooh.
First time I saw a scene of it on cable here in Brazil. I could understand a single word.
Yay!
Then,
Which one was it?
he understood one. Then funny. He says in the title.
Oh, of course.
Then I start to pay attention on them, and I also on the translation. It was doubled funny to me. The words in English are completely crazy, and in Portuguese, even oh god. And in Portuguese, even craziest. I could barely see the rest of the movie because I could not stop laughing. If you just want fun, go ahead. And that's the end of that review. So, Bartek, what's your big surprise?
The
other
big
than
surprise-
Reese's touching kids.
The big surprise is that this episode features a first for our show.
What is it?
What is it?
You guys didn't notice?
No, what?
Guys, this was the first episode that didn't have Bartek in it.
Ooh. It had Bartek.
No, guys. Remember my review, how it was really great and everything?
Yeah.
It was all a lie.
What do you mean?
I'm Roger Ebert.
No!
Let me give you my real review of this movie.
Yay! I love Roger Ebert's hate-filled reviews full of hate.
Pootie Tang from 2001.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Half as Roger Ebert saying Pootie Tang.
It's actually something I want to hear. Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang, half a star. Pootie Tang is not bad so much as inexplicable. You watch in puzzlement. How did this train wreck happen? How was this movie assembled out of such ill-fitting pieces? Who thought it was funny? Who thought it was finished? For that matter, was it finished? Take away the endless opening titles and end credits, and it's about 70 minutes long. The press notes say it comes from the comedy laboratory of HBO's Emmy Award-winning Chris Rock show. It's like one of those lab experiments where the room smells like swamp gas and all the mice are dead.
You know, Roger Ebert, he's always going to those kinds of labs where it smells specifically of swamp gas. You know, labs.
I'm broken
You know,
again.
when I see Frankenstein, it's like, it's alive. I'm thinking to myself, I bet that smells like swamp gas. And there's dead mice.
It does. Lance Crouther stars as Pootie Tang, a folk hero who has gained enormous popularity, even though nobody can understand a word he says. He crusades against the evil Lecter Corp, which sells cigarettes, booze, drugs, and fast food to kids. Pootie is a regular character on The Chris Rock Show and has a following, but he's more suited to skits than a feature film, or at least to this feature film, which is disorganized, senseless, and chaotic.
Aww.
Characters appear and disappear without pattern. Pootie has funny scenes, as when he dodges bullets, and other scenes, as...
And others. You know that one scene? There's others. I'm not going to give an example because that means I would have to give it more than
It's not the end of
half a
my
star.
sentence, Ryan. Hold on.
Good.
When he dodges bullets and other scenes, as when a woman eats a pie off his face, I'm sure that happened, right? It wasn't him eating it off of his body, right? It was her eating it off of his face. I'm sure.
In the end credit sequence, it was.
That's as when a woman eats a pie off his face. That seam left in the movie, but that seam left in the... I think I made a typo.
I'm Roger Ebert. I'm having a stroke while I write this review.
That seam left in the movie by accident. His secret weapon is his daddy's belt, which he uses against criminals.
Very sexual when you read it like that. His secret weapon is his daddy's belt. And my secret weapon is my mummy's dummy.
How did you know? His daddy, Chris Rock, gave it to him on his deathbed, and after being mauled by a gorilla at the steel mill. When the belt is stolen by an evil woman named Irene, Jennifer Coolidge, he loses his powers, but is helped by a good woman named Biggie Shorty, Wanda Sykes, who provides more personality than the movie deserves. That being said, I hate her because my next... No, that's not in the review. I'm just explaining to you why the next sentence... I didn't write that in the review. Just relax. Because... I didn't write that.
I love Wanda Sykes. Now here's why I hate her. Sorry, Roger.
Keep going.
It's so good that your ghost has joined us today. Please do tell us more.
Biggie Shorty is a hooker, but spends most of her time boogieing on street corners and encouraging Pootie Tang.
She's not a hooker. She said that.
See, that is the I know that. She said in the film she's not a hooker, but I called her a hooker because
I'm
I
a
hate
racist.
her. I hate her, so I called her a hooker. I want her to beat me. I like it.
I bet you do, Roger.
Let's get back to my... Guys, let's get back to my review.
Okay, Roger.
She has a farm in Mississippi, she lends Pootie, who during his recuperation there is encouraged by the white sheriff to date his daughter. Encouraged.
Date.
Yes. Encouraged to date. That's what happened, I'm sure of it.
Did he see this movie? I'm really
No.
confused.
It wasn't finished, Ryan. That's why I gave it half a star.
Oh, good.
This leads in the direction of a shotgun marriage until the story thread evaporates and Pootie ends up in bed with Biggie. Because that totally happened after the wedding, not before.
Yeah, that's exactly how it
You know,
went.
and he got the farm after the wedding.
Yeah.
After
Maybe
his...
it's got memory loss as well.
Well,
Yeah.
Roger was dying at the time, probably.
In 2001, I had over a decade left.
Yeah, but you were dying for a very long
There
time.
is another villain named Dirty D, Reg E. Cathy, who is very dirty and a villain. Dick Lecter. No, I'm describing Dick Lecter now, not Dirty D.
He is a villain, and
does
he
it
is
matter if
very
you don't
dirty.
even-
Look, I'll say it again. There is another villain named Dirty D, who is very dirty, comma, as in New Point, and a villain, Dick Lecter, played by Robert Vaughn, as if he may have a touch of lockjaw. Bob Costas... Stop interrupting me.
I know I make weird comments, but I didn't see Robert Vaughn and went, he has lockjaw in this? I'm pretty sure
A touch of lockjaw.
I don't,
Get it
just
right.
a touch.
Bob Costas plays an interviewer in one of those dreadful assignments where the writers thought it was funny simply that he was in the movie instead of giving him anything funny to do.
Yeah, well, nailed that one down.
What a snore. That's not in the review. Stop laughing at that.
Sorry, Roger.
Material this silly might at least be mindless entertainment for children, but Pootie Tang, for good reason, includes a lot of language it has no need for. The studios put enormous pressure on the MPAA to award PG-13 ratings to what once would have been R-rated material, and the MPAA obliges. Here is dialogue your MPAA rates PG-13. You can't hurt a hoe with a belt, they like it. Women are routinely described as bitches and slapped around a lot. And then I write in brackets, so are men.
Well, it's equality then.
Yes. Just go with it.
Wait a moment, when did these bitches get slapped around, really? There's one where Jennifer Coolidge gets slapped at the end, but she's a villain.
Don't argue with me.
Okay.
I have no problem with street language in movies with a use for the language. But why use it gratuitously in a movie that has no need for it, with a lead character whose TV exposure will attract younger viewers? You know, the kids who watch the Chris Rock show, Ryan. What's the point? Anyway, I'm not so much indignant as confused. Audiences will come out scratching their heads. The movie is half-baked, a shabby job of work. There are flashes of good stuff, a music video in the closing titles, some good songs on the soundtrack. Lance Crouther heroically makes Pootie Tang an intriguing character, and even though the movie gives him no help, this movie is not in a releasable condition. And that's my review.
Well, I've got a review of biblical proportions. It's 7 stars. It's called All Kinds of Religious Inferences.
I'm gonna be Bartek again.
Okay, Bartek. Now, this is all kinds of religious inferences. So, Pootie Tang, this is how it starts in the 7 star. Came out in 2004. Pootie Tang actually can be looked at as a parable, an allegory of a messianic figure. How's that for making a purse out of a sow's ear? Consider a powerful figure roaming around doing good deeds, speaking in a puzzling language that only believers understand. Attended to by his apostles, befriending prostitutes, suffering from inner demons, he retreats into the wilderness, the farm, and experiences an epiphany through the physical manifestation of his creators, going back and finally confronting and conquering the demons. Dirty D equals dirty devil. Along the way, he even awakens the dead, the knife wielder at the club, banishes a horde of false prophets, all the fake pooties, and can bring people to rapture through sheer silence alone. Whew, heady stuff. Sarate.
Who said heady stuff Sarate? That's a good way to end it.
And then I've got last review here. I feel this is a Bartek wrote this secretly. Okay.
Lay it on me, right?
Middle-aged white boy says Sarate. That's the review title. There's no star rating. Okay, so I'll read this because this is one of those titles that goes straight into the review. So middle-aged, so this is the title, and then so middle-aged, white boy says Sarate. And so does my wife, a middle-aged Hispanic girl. Just in case anyone thought this movie might only appeal to hip young black kids. Heck, even my 70-year-old mother liked it. But she likes anything with Chris Rock in it.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, this is one of those movies where you have to get it, but for those who do, it totally rocks. This movie works on so many levels. I love the message, I love the characters, and the movie is just hilarious. I never outright recommend this movie to anyone, as it's too unpredictable. I say, see the previews. If you see anything there you like, chances are you'll love the movie. It's definitely worth checking out. I feel like, Bartek's wife, who's a middle-aged Hispanic girl, really loves this movie.
Am I the middle-aged white boy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
You say Sadate.
Yes, Sadate.
That's how middle-aged... Now say it like a white person would.
Sadate.
Sadate, hoot nanny.
Yeah. You almost say it's like, yes, middle-aged
I didn't
white
mention
man.
it, but I really like the hoot nanny thing.
Yeah.
Fine day for a hoot nanny. A hoot nanny? What the hell is a hoot nanny?
Yes. So that there guy's was Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang? Pootie Tang.
Sadate.
Sadate.
Heavy stuff.
Wadata.
Capitao.
Capita.
Capitao.
Reese.
Tippy-tay.
Tippy-tay.
Capitao.
Dimmies. Reese, it was great to have you on, even
Thank
though
you.
we've revealed a dark mystery behind your
No, you did
relationship with children.
not. I did not have a relationship with
You're
children.
right, you're not allowed to. So, that's a mystery that's been solved.
No,
Another
it ha-
case closed on the Reese files.
It's not closed. It's still
It's
open.
closed.
Ryan, lay off him.
Good one, Bart. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, lay off him, and then smiled. So, good one, Bartek. So that's a case closed for this episode. Join us next time when Reese is on when we find out his kink.
Oh.
The answer is children.
Ryan.
Ryan and children. So, you guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful listening people.
You forgot superfluous.
I don't always say it. Sometimes I say superb or
I
stupendous.
think this
I
time they
think
did a
you should
superfluous
say that
job.
this
You
time.
did a stupendous job, guys. So, get it ready because I'm going to tell you now what's going to happen. You guys have to tell all your friends in Japan to listen to Spit and Posh Presents because apparently we're big in Japan at the moment. Huge in Japan.
Write us reviews, Japan.
Write us a review saying, me from Japan, like...
If you're the Brazilian guy.
Now, and if you're the Brazilian guy, tell us about how you understood one word and how good it
whole
was.
single word.
A whole single word. And that word was funny. So
And funniest.
craziest.
Even more craziest.
So you guys have been great. Now, recommend us, share us around. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Podbean, on iTunes, we're on even a Spanish streaming site. I didn't put us on there, but we are on there.
So, internationally, people think I'm touching children.
Yes. That's why you're not allowed in Japan
You know,
again.
Reese, they won't if you say I don't.
I mean,
don't.
if you what? You don't what?
I don't touch children.
You don't not touch children?
I don't touch children.
So wait, you do touch children.
No! I don't touch children!
I think he's made it clear, Ryan.
Someone sounds like they touch kids. We're gonna close the case so that you can't reopen a case.
Close
You have to. The book is closed.
Well, the statute of limitations, Ryan.
The statute of limitations have folded on Reese's touching of kids. He has to
Shit,
wait
that
till
was
next
quick.
episode. He has to wait till next episode to reopen the case.
According to your computer, it's like 6:40.
Well, that's an information that everyone in Japan needed to know. So you guys are great. As always, remember to not touch children. And remember to be kind
Hold on,
to
Reese,
each
you'd
other.
agree with that at least,
Yes,
right?
I do!
Yes, there you go.
No, he said as in I don't agree with that. So remember to be kind to each other like I am to Reese.
Reese, I think you did a decent job with improvisation this episode. Shall we do another word at a time like we've done the last few
Yes,
times?
we shall.
You ready, Ryan?
Yes.
Alright, word at a time. Who wants to go first?
Me.
Right, oh.
Ryan wants to go first.
Which way is it going?
To Bartek and then you.
Yeah.
So Reese,
Is
Not
A,
bad.
guy
but,
He
does
rape.
no.
Sorry, I won this. I won
No,
this.
you could have said anything.
I did say the right thing, and Bartek went and you just went.
No, I had an idea for it, but no one.
I ruined it by being too real.
No, I was thinking like an I mean not, right? You know.
But I wouldn't have said.
Let's
not.
start again.
Okay, Reese,
Has
No.
children
therefore
He
will
never
ever
have
any
Chance.
Of
love.